Welcome back, Salty Fam. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. So today we are going to get into Amanda Francis versus Penguin Random House. So this is one of the largest publishing companies in New York, and they have a very similar girl. Her name is Vivian Tu, who they are promoting, and their book is called Rich AF. So Amanda Francis caught wind of this. Her book is Rich as Fuck. And basically, she is suing to stop the pre-order and sell of Rich AF, which is Vivian Tu's book.
Yeah, it's very interesting going through the document, just sort of seeing all the details of their claim and sort of what they're accusing them of. And, yeah, it's cool to go through it.
Okay, so we'll just start reading from the actual lawsuit. So, coming from humble beginnings in Oklahoma, Miss Francis originally pursued a path of academia, working 3 jobs to put herself through school and receiving a Master's of Science degree in counseling from Southern Methodist University in 2013. In 2014, she took a risk and decided to leave her dream PhD program to focus exclusively on her life coaching business that she had started as a side project while pursuing her master's degree. By the end of that year, Ms. Francis had created her first digital course and begun shifting her focus to money and finance. Amanda Francis Inc., AF Inc., is incorporated in 2016, and Amanda Francis is the president, sole shareholder, and only company of the corporation.
So it's interesting that that's her start. You know, she was going to school as a graduate program, but then sort of started selling courses and was like, all right, I'm going to go all in on this. In 2016, she like started the business like legit.
Yeah. And so she developed AF Inc. and strategically branded it in the word fuck, which is F, and then the asterisk sign CK was an intentional part of like her Rich as Fuck.
Yeah, it's like
logo.
Amanda Francis AF, Rich AF, As Fuck. Like that's like all of her courses are worded around that.
Yeah.
So it was like a very conscious and cohesive like brand thing she did, you know?
Yeah. Amanda Francis figured that if she could say God and fuck in the same sentence, potential clients would know that there was a spiritual element to her work.
I thought that was funny that they like put that in the lawsuit of like, you know, but it also gets you thinking of how she thinks about reaching audiences, and her getting on this show is not just some, you know, like it's very strategic for reaching audiences.
Yes.
And that's even back when she was planning her name, she's thinking about that, you know?
Yeah. It is very interesting to see how she has built this company. And as we've seen on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, a lot of what we see of her has to do with her company.
It's her whole life.
Yeah.
She's an obsessed like you're not going to do that unless that you are obsessed with that, and like that is your day-to-day life every day. That is what you do. You know, you don't accidentally make $10 million a year, you know, kind of thing. Like,
yeah, I think it's just, is there anything besides her manifestation to her, you know, like besides the company, besides the branding, besides always talking about manifestation, like what else is there to Amanda Francis, you know, or is that just kind of it? So Amanda Francis leaned into this double meaning, intentionally using the word fuck and AF in her courses and marketing materials to create a bold, edgy brand. So remember, she's trying to prove here that Vivian Tu's Rich AF book is straight up copying. Yeah. And and
it's not just coincidence, like, you know, 2 people selling chips said, we make the best chips, you know, kind of thing. It's like very much like the whole AF thing, like is core to her brand.
Yeah.
And it's sort of showing the established timeline of we were doing this back in 2016, 2017. It's always been a core part of our brand, you know?
And so over the years, some of the examples of her courses include building your mother fucking empire. And mind you, all of the like fuck or fucking is the F and then the asterisk CK.
Yeah, that's
so
part
like
of the branding.
Specific,
you know? That's so you can put it on a book cover. You can't just write,
like,
you know,
and it's
in
like
huge letters.
eye-catching.
Yeah.
Show the fuck up and Aligned As Fck. And those are some of her like courses that you can take.
Just like demonstrating the fact that this isn't just some, oh, one word coincidence they're using. It's like, this is a huge thing that we've built and invested, and there's lots of brand awareness around this.
Yeah. So
idea of AF, and especially this niche of like female money making guru kind of thing.
And then, so basically her brand has a long-standing use of fuck or as fuck, like rich as fuck.
Rich AF.
Yeah.
Build your AF dream life or whatever, you know.
And so they put a lot in here of examples of what she has done for many years. And then they also put in examples of these photos of her book and marketing materials for her book. And then it
just showing like, hey, these are the photos I was taking back in 2016. Okay, so that's when she took these photos that were just on screen showing her in the bathtub or with the money and all that kind of stuff.
And she says at this point she had never seen an image of a woman in a bathtub full of dollar bills.
Which I'm like, that's total BS. There's been people posing in bathtubs with money for like since there's been bathtubs and money, probably, and photos.
I mean, there has to be some Playboy photo spread that's like some girl
or some rapper album, or it's like, okay, come on, 2016. That's the first time someone's thought, let's pose with money.
That's what she's claiming. And
that's
then,
what she manifested.
Yeah. By the end of 2017, AF Inc. was generating nearly $200,000 monthly, and by 2020. It was generating $5 million annually.
Which is major props to her. You know, she incorporates in 2016. Within a year, she's at $200,000 a month of revenue. That's
good for
awesome.
her.
You know, that's like really, whatever you think about her, that doesn't happen by accident or that doesn't happen by luck. That's somebody who is intentionally like created this thing and it's working.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. She's got the hustle bug. And so course enrollments grew from roughly 600 customers in 2016 to nearly 4,000 in 2020. And AF Inc. continues to serve over 3,000 paying customers each year. The AF Inc. newsletter grew from a few thousand subscribers in 2017 to approximately 20,000 by the end of 2021.
What I like really love about them going into all these numbers is it really shows how big of a business you can build with how small of an audience.
Right.
You know, like you wouldn't think on its surface, oh, you get 600 customers, you can make, $200,000 a month on it, or you have 40,000 email lists. You know, you can get an email for like $150, $250. You pay ads to get somebody to fill out some form or whatever. But with 40,000 of them, she's scaled to 200,000 a month super quick. Then to 5 million, it's like, it's really impressive. It's a business case study almost, this document. It's like, this is super interesting.
Yeah. And I think, oh gosh, I don't know what I was going to say. Anyway, today the newsletter has 65% open rate on average, meaning that approximately 20,000 people open and view AF Inc. content every week.
And that's a high open rate. I mean, think how many emails you get a day. Like I just delete hundreds of them a day. 65% of her list is like reading every email. That is a super engaged audience. Like,
most
it's
of
impressive,
her marketing stuff is all digital. So she doesn't really have any materials or anything. It's
under products, all digital.
Yeah.
Super high margin business.
Very easy. You just send it all out, and she does, her weekly podcast that you can pay to be a part of and stuff like that.
And it has to be good on some point. You're not going to have 20,000 people opening every time if it's not like they, as much as it's like a weird internet guru lifestyle scam kind of thing, like these people are obviously getting some value. Like they are hooked on the newsletter. It's just so interesting.
Well, it's just like Tony Robbins, who he does it for all of like the wealthy
Yes,
people.
exactly.
It's just like that,
Exactly.
And so, and She Rises the Fuck Up podcast had an approximately 2.5 million downloads since its inception and 24,000 downloads this month alone. So that was back in 2023. So I'm sure it's
Yeah, so
grown.
all of these numbers are as of 2023. You know, we're
December.
2026 now.
Yeah.
Her business has gotten bigger. She's got this huge sort of mass market awareness now from this
Yeah.
show. Like, I bet she's doing crazy numbers as of late, you know,
Oh
like
yeah, I'm
crazy
sure.
numbers.
I'm sure. So she has over 500,000 followers on Instagram, and she posts daily there. She spends in the range of 300,000 to 500,000 annually in expenses related to marketing and promoting in its financial advice products and services.
That's like their
So
ad budget. That's what they're spending a year on
yeah,
ads
and like
and
she's not the
clicks
one
and
writing all of these courses up. She's getting these courses from a huge, downloadable thing, making her little changes on them and sending
But that's what
them
it would be
out.
interesting. Yeah, you know, like it
I
is.
think
It
it's
would
all
be
mass
interesting.
made,
It's all just generic, like all personal
Exactly.
self-help stuff. Like none of it's new.
Yeah.
You know, like
So
it's
I don't
all
think
sort
she's
of.
creating every course on her own. I'm sure she puts her little flair on it, but like the general stuff is what all of them say.
Yeah, like there's no secrets in these courses.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
it's stay consistent,
yeah,
follow your passion, keep with
yeah,
it, positive self-talk, like
yeah.
all that stuff. So it's not like these courses have some groundbreaking advice.
Yeah,
It's just
brand new mathematical discoveries or
yeah, it's
something, you
just
know?
something that you can go to when you are in that weak moment or lost or time of need, and it will help direct you.
Yeah.
But you actually have to follow through with it for it to actually work.
And you know, that's an argument for the price point that like is kind of a good one. If someone say, "Oh, well, if you know the price is crazy," it's like, yeah, well, you got to make people pay that price for them to take it serious because the
Yeah.
advice is generic.
Yeah.
And so if you get it for free, they're not going to listen, you know, kind of
Yeah.
thing. But if you make them pay a bunch for it, then they'll like be like, well, I should listen to this. I paid like $2,000 for it. You know?
Yeah, and
So
a
there is an
lot
element of like, I don't know. It's just funny.
yeah, it's like investing in yourself and your future. And a lot of it is about community. So these women
Yeah,
or
I'm
men
sure it's like a big pump up in there. They're
have
all like,
community.
"You got it, you're the best." You
They
know,
all have probably their text threads for their section that they're
yeah,
in or their chapter that they're in. And, they have the podcast. And so I
hmm
think community probably plays a big role into it as
oh,
well,
for sure,
which Tony Robbins has as well.
for sure.
All of those big ones
Yeah,
have that.
yeah, and like none of those things are bad on their face or anything. You know, like
No, yeah, it's
community
just,
is valuable,
it
like
is,
network is valuable. You know,
yeah,
kind of thing,
it's
and
just
even just
part
being
of,
around like-minded people. You know, like
yeah.
so
It's
it's
just
just
part of
interesting.
like the draw to what she's doing.
Exactly.
On September 11, 2019, an editor associated with the defendant, who was a longtime admirer of Ms. Francis's financial advice and podcasts, emailed Ms. Francis to discuss the possibility of turning her work into a book. And this would be published by Penguin Random House.
And just keeping the timeline in mind, you know, so she launched all this in 2016. She's been grinding it out for 3 years to the point they notice her,
Yeah.
reach out to her to say, "Hey, do you want to do a book?" You
Yeah.
know,
And so she had already been in the early stages of planning a book. And so she declined Penguin Random House's
which
offer.
props for her. Like, I love that. She's like, she has that, like, I don't need Penguin Random House to publish my
Yeah.
book. I built this thing over 3 years. I have a huge following. Like, you're getting more from me than I would get from you. So
Yeah.
props to her for being like, no, you
Yeah.
know.
And then from October 2019 to December 2020, Miss Francis worked tirelessly on her book.
Remember, she just sat down and wrote.
Yeah, she did not have a ghostwriter. And she named it Rich as Fuck. As we know, that's like her huge slogan.
And she's been pushing products with that for 3 years at this point. So it's
Yeah.
not like she just pulled that out of thin air, you
Yeah.
know.
On December 17th, 2020, as an ebook on Amazon, and it was an immediate success. So within the first week, she had over 5,000 copies and was listed on numerous Amazon bestseller lists, including business and investing, spirituality, women in business, new age religion and spirituality, budgeting and money, management, religion, spirituality, and self-help.
So she
Oh
hit
my
all the
God.
categories,
That
you
was a
know.
mouthful.
That's what you want to do, though. You want to hit all the categories. You're gonna get #1 in at least one of them, and then you can say, "I'm a
Yeah.
bestseller."
Yeah. And then they go through the trademarks, how she has trademarked
Just
all of this stuff,
restating
which we've done videos before, and she trademarks like every single thing that she says, basically. The Rich as Fuck book generated about 140,000 to 250,000 in revenue every year and remains listed as a bestseller on Amazon.
So it's cranking, you know, she's making good money on this. People are buying it. And that's why Penguin Random House was like, ooh, we want to get our cut.
Yes. So author Vivian Tu is a former Wall Street trader who offers financial tips and tricks via social media. Her website, yourrichbff.com, and a podcast called Net Worth and Chill.
She's very similar to Amanda Frances, female guru in the money-making space. You know?
Yeah. And so Penguin Random House recently began offering for pre-sale a book authored by Miss Tu called Rich AF. And you can see, let's see, she has very similar pictures. Like the front cover of her book is her with money all around.
Yes.
Then she has a picture of her in a bathtub with money all over it, just like Amanda Frances.
And I remember Amanda Frances's picture was taken in 2016.
Yeah.
That wasn't even for the book. You know, that was
Yeah.
taken way before just general marketing material.
For her online courses
Yeah.
and her website. Then you can see Amanda Frances is like holding money and throwing money all over the place. And Vivian Tu is literally doing
like
exactly
she totally
the same.
ripped it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And so they're saying these similarities, like clearly Vivian Tu and Penguin Random House are totally copying Amanda Frances.
Yeah, like it isn't just coincidence. This is clearly you're trying to leverage all the money. Because remember, she's spending, you know, 300 to 500 grand a year on ads, 2016 to now. That's $2 million of ad spend she spent out. Like you're just going to leverage all that money we spent on this brand to take it yourself. You know, like that's like messed up.
And so then when this started coming out, customers were super confused between the Rich as Fuck and the Rich AF and, you know, what was going on in between. So then she proves on these posts kind of some confusion. Like, wait, this is Amanda Frances. This is confusing and misleading as AF. And then, you know, it's just kind of.
Yeah, like she's got such a big brand at this point that someone else coming out with this, like even the audiences on both people are like, wait, this is just what her thing is, you know?
So that's pretty interesting. And then specifically, Miss Frances and AF Inc. were clearly known to Penguin Random House years ago, given its outreach in 2019. So therefore, they're basically copying her.
Like it's obvious. They wanted to publish her book. She said no. They saw how good it did, and they said, we're going to rip our own and kind of try to take it down, you know, sort of thing.
Vivian Tu has responded, I'm signed with Penguin Random House and we did do marketing research. Her book was a self-published manifestation book and my team of editors felt it wasn't similar in terms of content given mine if more like financially focused.
Which is funny because like none of the claims I feel like Amanda Frances is making is about the content. So she's like almost like, yeah, I agree the content's different, but you're clearly leveraging my brand and marketing to sell it, you know, like, and it just proves that they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
You know, with those statements, her admitting beforehand, we know her, Penguin reaching out beforehand.
Yeah, for sure. On December 11th, 2023, lawyers for AF Inc. served defendant with a demand to cease and desist its plans to launch the Rich AF book. Defendant acknowledged the receipt in 2023, and defendant elected to disregard AF Inc.'s demands and proceed with its plans to launch the Rich AF book.
So they just kept pre-selling it. They said, screw you, Amanda. We're doing it anyways.
Yes.
And then so these parts, this is just sort of it's restating everything talked about just in more legal speak to just make it, you know, beat you over the head with, you're stealing our brand, you're ripping our brand. It's obviously that's what you're doing, you know. They're wanting to have happen because of this. Enjoining and restraining defendant, its officers, agents, servants, employees, but everyone at Penguin Random House from marketing, promoting, or offering for sale, selling, or distributing the book titled Rich AF. Same thing, wants to restrict them from selling really anything that infringes on AF Inc.'s trade dress. That's like their whole branding. They're wanting them to order the defendant to cease shipments of the Rich AF book based on pre-sale orders that have been placed because they've been selling pre-sales. Who knows if they shipped any? They want them to also recall all the copies that have been shipped, if any, and want them to order the destruction of all printed copies. So they're like, you need to wipe out this entire book. If you've shipped it to anyone, bring it back, destroy it, all that good stuff. Remove all images that infringe upon AF's trademarks and all that stuff on their website, social media accounts, which I'm sure there's even more than what's included in this.
Right.
And then also ordering the defendant to account and pay Amanda for all the gains, profits, and savings from its improper conduct. So she wants all the pre-sale money, just anything, and that's basically it. So she basically wants them to say, you got to destroy everything and you got to pay us all the money you made. And they filed it, and I can't remember exactly what happened to it, but they don't end up going to trial. They want a jury trial in this. They don't end up going, but it seems like
there was a motion to dismiss in 2024, and I believe that Penguin Random House settled with Amanda out of court.
Yeah, because I mean, when you read this, there's no way. They have to settle.
Yeah, and because they did want a jury trial, obviously people would side with Amanda.
Yeah, they'd be like, this is clearly y'all are ripping her. So definitely she was in the right on this, and she made a good case. If I was the judge, I would have, Penguin, you're done.
Yeah, for sure. And Penguin House has the money to pay out when they do stuff like this.
Like, them doing this is total predatory behavior. They're not some small publishing company trying to make it. They're like, oh, she didn't do the deal with us. Let's try to like kind of ruin her thing for her.
And you can still buy Rich AF by Vivian Tu on Amazon for $14.
Oh, that's interesting.
They settled, but
maybe they settled.
Stop any of the stuff.
Well, that's what maybe she's getting a cut of all those book sales. Who knows?
I'm sure that she had some good deal. Otherwise,
I think so.
They would have gone through with everything.
Yeah, and she definitely was in the right.
Yeah, for sure. Well, like and subscribe for more, and let us know your thoughts in the comments.